everybody, it's Johnny Reb here again, and I have some unfortunate news out of Richmond, Virginia. As of this posting, General Thomas Jonathan Jackson's monument on Monument Avenue in Richmond has been removed under the direction of Mayor Stoney. And he's been given the green light by our wonderful, wonderful governor. But with that out the way, something else I just wanted to get out there. It's becoming increasingly clear to me that with every passing day, these people hate America. They don't hate the Confederacy. They don't hate Lee and Jackson and Stewart and Davis. They can give two shits in the fuck about them. But the reality is, they just hate America. That's what's becoming clear to me now. It's never been about this. It's always been an American thing. For example, in New York, at the National History Museum, they want to remove the monument to Teddy Roosevelt. This man founded the national park system, was at the forefront of wildlife conservation, invited the first black man to the White House. I mean, that's a hell of a thing to do. Not just that, it was also Booker T. Washington, a man who did extraordinary things for people of color as a whole, whom, by the way, as a side note, General Robert Edward Lee was that man's idol. That was his idol. He, adored him. As a matter of fact, I think he had a picture of him, on his wall. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure about that last part, but I know he held Lee in a very high regard. That out of the way. They have toppled a monument to General Grant. They've toppled a monument to a freaking abolitionist. Wow. Way to combat and dismantle white supremacy by tearing down a monument dedicated to a man who y'all say fought against slavery, fought to free the slaves. I mean, that's what his job title was, abolitionist. Speaking of abolition, they're talking about abolishing museums. Museums. That's what they're talking about now. That's suddenly a new thing these people want. Abolish museums. At this rate, with all these monuments gone, and let's just say we took down all the monuments. Any monument that offended somebody, we took it down. And then we abolished all the museums, banned the textbooks, and only taught a certain curriculum in school. We wouldn't have a history anymore. That's where we're headed to. We're headed to that point where one day somebody's going to find an old book and ask somebody else, "Who's George Washington?" And then the other person wouldn't be able to answer the damn question because he wouldn't know. Because neither of them were taught that growing up. And this is actually kind of scary for me as someone that's very into history, because I can look back into the past, and I've seen a few things similar to this situation that led to a lot of fucked up shit. And to prevent said fucked up shit, let's not take down monuments. Let's not censor books. Let's not censor books. I mean, let's not ban books. Let's not do any of that shit, because that will lead to some very nasty stuff. Anybody who lived through 1920 to 1945 in Europe can tell you that some bad shit might happen if we keep going down this road. And that's where we're headed. We're headed down that road. We're headed down that road, and it's not going to be very pretty for anybody. And you know what? I'm just sitting here like, wow. They're tearing down monuments to Yankees now. Just to prove that the Southern Heritage community has been right all along. We've said for years now, hey, you take down that monument there, it won't be long before it's Washington or Jefferson. And like prophets, we said that shit. And now look, they're changing school names, they're changing names of streets, and all kinds of shit.